All right, so this is where we're gonna start. We're on the C10 today, and I was doing some body work on it over the winter, but as you can tell, the water kind of just started eating away at the metal. So I'm gonna clean the whole roof up, get rid of as much as the rust, and then hopefully be able to primer some of the spots up. Also, get on down here. These little lines all the way across, I'm gonna add some fiberglass filler and make it look like one solid piece. Luckily the front doesn't have it, but there is some little cracking in there that I will fill into. Got my tripod set up. I already took out majority of the dents on the hood, which is perfect. And it's gonna continue to this side right here. I took off the latch because I cleaned up the whole door jamb. As you can see, door latch is right here. So I made a TikTok on this, me cleaning it, so you guys could check it out later. But our main focus is the roof right now. I still need to do the doors, but we're gonna remove the doors later on and then paint the jambs and the cab with some black epoxy primer. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is I got some red Scotch-Brite here. I'm just gonna spray it down. Oh shit. I'm gonna spray it down with some soapy water. It's just Dawn dish soap, and get all this dirt off, and then I'm gonna hit it with the soapy water again and start scrubbing it with the Scotch-Brite just to get it scuffed up and try removing light bits of rust, and then hit it with some rust remover. So now we got it all cleaned up and everything. There is some spots that are kind of like, you know, a little bit, I don't know the word, loose, who knows, wobbly, wavy. I'm not trying to like remove it completely, but I am trying to get it down to the point where I'll be able to add the rust remover and knock it out later with the wire brush. Just using some gel-based rust remover, and I'm gonna work it into the rust with this steel wire brush. So now that we have those spots agitated and the rust dissolver applied, we're just gonna wait a while, let it do its thing, and then we'll wipe it off and start with the next. While we got the rust remover doing its thing up on the roof up here, I'm gonna start sanding this down, this little like crevice from here all the way around, and I'm just gonna prep it so I can start putting that fiberglass filler in it. For the creases in the cab, I'm gonna use some 80 grit. I just folded this piece in half and it's sticky back tape, but I'm gonna try doing everything in between all the way around. I'm gonna turn my compressor on right now just so I can use my blower, because I'm not gonna keep blowing on the little seam right here just to get the little dust out. So I'm gonna get my hose over here real quick. All right, so basically what I'm doing right now is leaving like a little gap in between. I'm gonna widen out the paint also here so I could get enough bare metal so when I apply the fiberglass filler, it'll be able to grab onto more of the surface. Let me just get over here. So in this little crease, there's also gonna be some paint, and once I get the bulk of all this all the way through to the other side, I'm gonna by hand just get in this little cranny, like nook, and then just sand it out also, and then apply the filler after. I'm pretty sure the rust is, for the most part, neutralized. So I'm just gonna spray it with some of the soapy water and wire brush it off to get that like gooiness off, and I'll just wipe it off. So if you look here, some of the little spots, there's still some like pretty thick rust, but I'm gonna pass over it with some 80 grit, and I'm pretty sure that'll get out the rest of the little rust here. Instead of using 80 grit, I used 180, and to seal it, I'm gonna use some TranStar gray primer, and I'm gonna primer it off camera just so I don't get any overspray anywhere. Alright, so here it is all covered up. I did get some drips because I guess the primer was like leaking onto the little off the nozzle, but it's no big deal. Wet sand it out. But I got that spot covered. Still working on this little section. Gonna cover that, and then we'll continue getting down on this. Got it halfway done already. We might apply the filler tomorrow depending on how far we get, but my main goal is just to try getting it sanded and filled by today so we can sand tomorrow. I just finished doing this corner of the cab also where I had the rust. I also hit it with some 180. There was some along here too. I'm gonna sand this section off too because the body line still comes through here. So I'm just gonna let this dry. I'm gonna grab something to eat, and then we'll get back to it once it's dry. All right, I got back a while ago, so I just went ahead and did everything. As you can see, I took it all the way across. I'm still having trouble getting in here. I mean, I'm doing the best that I could. Just tearing like small little pieces like this and just like getting in there, you know, trying to get out as much as I can. I started doing it more on that side, like right here. All that up in here. So I'm just gonna keep sanding into that little crease until I get all the way across, and then I'll start mixing some of the fiberglass filler. I'll show you guys that in a second. So for the filler, I'm gonna use Napa Pro Strand XL, and this is basically like long strand fiberglass filler, and I'll pop it open right now just so you guys can take a look at it. All right, so this is what that stuff looks like. It's very long, hairy looking stuff. And then you just mix it with like any kind of blue hardener y'all got. What I'm hoping with this is it'll press itself into the little crease, and then with the strands it'll just grab onto the bare metal so it can make a strong connection. I'm gonna go over it with some glazing putty that I got over here. This is an old one I have, but it's U-Pole Gold, and I have a new one that I'm gonna be using on the truck, so I'm gonna fill it with that fiber strand and then get that all covered up for today. This right here is how the fiberglass filler looks. I only got to like about halfway right here because it started drying up on me, but I'm gonna mix up some more. Hopefully finish the rest of that, and then this is just how I'm gonna leave it for today, just so it could harden up. And then in the next video I'll be sanding it, and you can still see a little bit of the crease in there, but like I said, when I use the glazing putty, it'll come out real nice. So this is gonna be the base right here. Extra long fiberglass filler, and we're gonna get it spread across to the other side of the cab, and that way we'll have it sealed and ready to sand tomorrow. All right, so here it is all done. You can still barely see the line going all the way through. I did tape it. I set my line right where that little trim hole is, and I just made a line all the way across, giving it about like an inch for it to grab onto. And I'm just gonna let it harden for the rest of the day and overnight, so then tomorrow we could come back and then sand it down, see where we're at, and then hopefully apply that glazing putty. But yeah, for today, that's it for the video.